One mistake exposed everything he was hiding. Not a confession. Not a guilty conscience. Not even an argument. Just one careless mistake. A mistake so small that most people would have ignored it. But for me, it became the beginning of the end. My name is Claire, and for 11 years, I believed I was married to an honest man. My husband, Daniel, was respected by everyone around him. Neighbors trusted him. Co-workers admired him. Family members praised him. Whenever people talked about successful marriages, ours was always mentioned. At least that's what they thought. Behind closed doors, things felt different. Daniel wasn't cruel. He wasn't openly distant. But there was always something I couldn't explain. A feeling. A constant sense that part of his life existed somewhere beyond my reach. Whenever I tried discussing it, he would smile. "Claire, you're worrying about nothing." And every time he said those words, I felt guilty for questioning him. So I stopped asking. Stopped pushing. Stopped trusting my instincts. Years passed that way. Life looked perfect from the outside. But deep inside, I felt increasingly alone. Then one evening, something happened that changed everything. Daniel left his phone on the kitchen counter while he took a shower. I wasn't checking it. I wasn't searching for answers. In fact, I barely noticed it. Until the screen suddenly lit up. One notification. One name. One message. And my heart instantly dropped. The message simply said, "Did she see the receipt?" That was it. No explanation. No context. Just one sentence. But somehow, those 4 words felt heavier than anything I had read before. My hand started shaking. Receipt? What receipt? And why would someone be worried about whether I had seen it? For nearly an hour, I sat there trying to convince myself there had to be an innocent explanation. Maybe it was work-related. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I was overthinking. But what I didn't know that night was that Daniel had just made the first mistake he couldn't explain away. And once that tiny crack appeared, the entire truth started pouring through. The next morning, I couldn't stop thinking about the message. Every conversation felt different. Every smile felt forced. Every explanation sounded rehearsed. For years, I had ignored my instincts. This time, I couldn't. A few days later, another opportunity appeared. Daniel asked me to find an insurance document stored in our home office. While searching through a drawer, I discovered an envelope. Inside were several receipts. Most looked ordinary. Then I found one that made my stomach twist. A hotel receipt. Not from a business trip. Not from a conference. A weekend stay. The date immediately caught my attention. According to Daniel, he had spent that weekend visiting his brother. But the receipt told a completely different story. Suddenly, the message made sense. Did she see the receipt? Someone knew exactly what was hidden. And they were worried I would discover it. For the first time, fear became certainty. Something was very wrong. Still, I wanted proof. Not assumptions. Not guesses. Proof. So I remained silent. I watched. I listened. I paid attention. And slowly, the pieces began connecting. Over the following weeks, I noticed things I had ignored for years. The sudden business trips. The unexplained expenses. The strange phone calls. The disappearing messages. Every discovery felt like another piece of a puzzle I never wanted to solve. Then one evening, everything became clear. Daniel accidentally forwarded an email to our shared account. The moment I opened it, my entire world stopped. The email wasn't romantic. It wasn't dramatic. It was worse. It revealed years of deception. Financial accounts I knew nothing about. Large purchases hidden from me. Conversations discussing plans he never intended to share. For years, he had been building a separate life behind my back. Not just emotionally. Financially. Personally. Completely. The betrayal wasn't one mistake. The mistake was failing to keep his secrets hidden. That realization shattered me. For days, I cried alone. I questioned everything. Every memory. Every promise. Every moment I had trusted him. But eventually, something unexpected happened. The pain started turning into strength. The confusion became clarity. And the woman who once doubted herself started finding her voice again. I didn't confront Daniel immediately. Instead, I prepared. I organized documents. Saved emails. Collected records. Built a complete picture of the truth. Months of deception became impossible to deny. When the day finally came, I placed everything neatly across our dining room table. Every receipt. Every account. Every hidden detail. I still remember the look on his face. Shock. Panic. Silence. For years, Daniel always had an explanation ready. This time, he didn't. Because facts don't argue. Facts don't get confused. Facts simply exist. For the first time in our marriage, he wasn't controlling the story. The truth was. Watching him struggle to explain everything was strangely peaceful. Not because I enjoyed his discomfort. Because I finally stopped questioning my own reality. And that freedom felt priceless. Our marriage ended the following year. Not because of one receipt. Not because of one email. Not because of one mistake. It ended because trust had been broken long before those discoveries happened. The evidence simply exposed what already existed. Today, my life looks very different. It's quieter. Simpler. Healthier. For the first time in years, I wake up without wondering what I'm missing. Without doubting my instincts. Without feeling trapped inside someone else's version of reality. Looking back, I often think about how everything started. One notification. One message. One mistake. A tiny moment that seemed insignificant. Yet that tiny mistake exposed years of hidden truths. And perhaps that's the lesson I carry with me now. People can hide things for a very long time. They can create stories. Build illusions. Protect secrets. But eventually, the truth finds a way through. Sometimes through a confession. Sometimes through a coincidence. And sometimes through one small mistake they never expected anyone to notice. That mistake changed my life. And in the end, it gave me something I hadn't felt in years. Peace,